Hey, so I wanted to talk about anxiety today because, well, it's all around us. Everybody, everybody goes through it to some degree. It's so broad. There's so many types of anxieties. You can have a whole lot of anxiety about little things. You can have extreme anxiety about one thing, and there's always overlap, and it's just something that we deal with. And I didn't ever think that I would be somebody that goes through that, growing up, like when I was a teenager and stuff. But soon I realized that, wow, I go through anxiety so much. And at one point, it like almost killed me. It was so bad. I did not know how to deal with it. I didn't know what I was. It just hit me, and I realized like, whoa, I need help. Okay. Um, I ended up helping myself, so this is something that I kind of want to talk about. Um, Basically, I want to just like share what I think anxiety was to me and some of the things that I went through and how I look at it now. Um, there isn't like a cure for it. There's just a balance, you know? When you don't want your anxiety to get this high, you want to bring it down. There isn't a magic potion that's going to take it away because anxiety, what is it? It stems from real life experiences. It stems from situations, thoughts, the people around us, the things that we encounter in our everyday lives. There isn't like there isn't like a secret ingredient that is going to take it away. Um, what I focus on mostly is my mentality and the way that I shape myself in my mind to think about situations and not let them overwhelm me and take complete control of my body, because that's when anxiety can get really bad and dangerous. And it's so important to just realize how we can manage it. And it's not easy. It doesn't happen over a day. However, what I've found is that you can be having so much anxiety about a situation, but when you figure out a small step that can help you ease that anxiety, it doesn't have to be a big step. That one small step goes a long way. And it's going to build you up with more energy and motivation to continue practicing that habit or whatever it is that helped you kind of come down to the ground. Like, I feel like anxiety is like, it's basically our minds tricking us into thinking something to a heightened degree, to the point that it causes strain in our brains and in our minds. But when you realize how to like bring yourself down from those bursts of high feelings, it, at least what I think is that goes a very long way. So although you can't overcome this overnight, it's actually a lifelong process, in my opinion. I'm gonna have anxiety in the future. I'm gonna have some situation's gonna come up. I'm gonna get triggered and I'm gonna have anxiety. It's inevitable. But my point is that I believe that little steps can make a huge difference in how you feel in this exact present moment. So, with that said, and lighting is like a little bit weird. I've been trying to get the lighting right. So here's some things that I made a journal. So I have a journal that I'm starting to write and use because I keep everything in my head, and that's another thing with anxiety is it needs to come out. So one of my ways of doing this is by writing down things instead of just keeping them in my head all the time. So I made a list of what makes me anxious, and these are a couple of the things that came to my mind. Fear fear is like a big, I think fear is anxiety, or fear fear leads to anxiety. It's a big one. So one of my fears is fear of inadequacy. I don't know why. I've always felt that way. I feel in many situations that I'm inadequate. I think that just comes from comparing myself to others, um, and not having confidence in who I am. But I'll get more into that later. But so that's just one of them. Discomfort of not fitting in. It's similar to the first one, but I feel that. Balancing multiple worries at once, that gives me really bad anxiety. Like if I'm worried about something, but then there's another thing that's worrying me, and like a lot of things are worrying me at the same time, that worry, like, kills me. That's when I get the worst anxiety, because I'm like not having a solution to something, and I feel like worried, like, that is like a mix of anxiety and depression, and it's the worst feeling. um Feeling like I haven't given my full potential. This one is a really personal one for me, and it rings true to me like almost every day, because every day I ask myself this question, like, am I giving my fullest potential? Like, could I be giving more? That gives me anxiety, because if I'm not meeting my highest standard, then that's not good. I want to be the best version of myself at all times. Um my next one is a little bit more broad and philosophical, and it's that my time is short on this earth. And that brings me to the next anxiety, which is, am I fulfilling what I need to be doing on this earth while I'm here? That, and I put that on my list because I know I'm not the only one that feels this. I think everybody does. But I learned something about this and how to cope with it, and I'll get to it later. But first, I just want to share all the feelings that I get that give me anxiety. So the next one is scheming out the outcome of a situation before it happens. That gives me major anxiety, and that is part of my other anxieties. So they kind of like sometimes share energies off each other. Like if you're feeling inadequate, or you feel like you don't fit in, or you don't have the confidence in yourself, then you're going to analyze a situation that hasn't even happened yet in your head multiple times. And so basically, if you target one thing, it's going to help you solve your other anxieties. So we can have like a list of like 100 things that give us anxieties. But if we are able to figure out how to overcome one of those causes, it's likely that it is going to also help you overcome a couple of the other pieces of anxiety that you're having as well. So, let me take a break.